Show feel. Ha ha! Alright, cool. Come on, let's get out of here.
Make sure you like and subscribe.
Yo, welcome to another episode of the Joseph Bristol Show. Today I want to talk about pretending. And not the fake kind of pretending where you hang out with somebody that you know you don't like, but you pretend like you like them, you pretend like you like what they're saying just so you can use them for your own personal benefits because you need a ride or you need a place to live or you need to borrow money or you just know this person is nice to you but you don't really like them, so you just pretend. Not that type of pretending. I'm talking about the positive pretending. The kind of pretending where you are a selfish person and you know you're a selfish person, but you pretend to be a selfless person. And the reason why this is important, or the reason why this is significant, extremely significant, is this will make you a better person. Pretending to be a better person will make you a better person. How do we know this to be true? Psychology. As we all know, I am a big advocate for mental health. Not just because I have my own various mental issues, but because I understand that your mental is a little more important than any other aspect of your being, except, of course, your spirit. Your spirit is always, above all, number one. Then is your mental, because your mental will determine how it is that you view the world, how it is that you view other people, how it is that you perceive the information that's given to you, and so on and so forth. So, psychologists say that if you're in a bad mood, you should smile. So if you're unhappy or you're sad, you should force yourself to smile. And this will trigger your brain to have a positive reaction. It will literally force you into a good mood. And I'm actually going to do a review on a book that I read maybe once every year, usually once every year, sometimes twice a year. It's called Life Supreme. I'm gonna do a review on that pretty soon. I just want to finish reading it again before I talk about it. But in that book, it also emphasizes pretending to be something that you're not. And this is the lowest level of being a good person. So if you know you are a nasty person, your best option in life is to pretend to be a good person. I have done this my entire life. My whole life I've pretended to be someone that I am not. I am in fact a very emotional person in the sense that should somebody do something to me that I don't like, my very first reaction is to retaliate. It's to do or find or say something that I can do to hurt that other person as much as they have hurt me. But what I tend to do is I don't do that. As opposed to reacting the way I want to react, I pretend. I pretend that I'm okay, that it doesn't bother me. I pretend that I'm happy. Growing up, I used to pretend that, the jokes never hurt my feelings. Of course, they hurt my feelings. I used to pretend that, whenever people would do nasty things, I would pretend like it didn't bother me, but it really did. Anytime, people take advantage of me, I would brush it off, but in reality, I really wanted to do other things. And this is important because by me pretending to be a good person, even though in my heart of hearts, I'm not a good person, I can say that there are certain things that people just can't say about me because I have pretended or I have shown the world a perception of me. So when people perceive me, it's perceived that I am a nice person. When in my heart, I'm actually not a nice person, but I continuously pretend. And when you use that word pretend, it's perceived as a negative, but it shouldn't be. And I'm using the word loosely, by the way, because really, I wouldn't really call it pretending. I would call it trying to be a better person. So my whole life, I've tried to be a certain kind of person, a nice person, a loving person, a gentle person, a helpful person. And even though I'm not that person, And in trying to be this way, it has allowed me, or it's forced me to live up to a certain expectation. So when you have good people around you, people who only want the best for you, genuinely only want the best for you, not that fake, pretentious, oh, I want to see you do good, and then they literally don't do anything to help you be a better person. I'm talking about somebody who says, I want you to be a good person, and as soon as they see you being a nasty person, they immediately call you out on your deeds. They immediately demand that you rectify the situation and that you better yourself. Those are the kind of people that you want around you. And that's what has happened to me growing up in my life. As I have pretended to be a good person, certain people in my life have held me to that standard. Mainly, my cousins who are more spiritual and religious. They've always held me to that standard of being this good person. And when I'm not being that person, they immediately call me out. They're like, Jojo. That's what my family calls me, Jojo. So they're like, Jojo, that's not you. That's not right. You gotta do better. You're not that type of person. And this makes me look back and say to myself, well, man, who am I? I've been trying to be a better person, and they are expecting me to be that person. So let me go ahead and be that person. So I think that pretending is an extremely important tool for people to use to be better people. And just as iron sharpens iron, it's important that we force each other to be better. So my friend should require that I live up to a certain standard. And this is a good friend. This is a good spouse. This is a good family member. This is a good person to have in your life. Someone who requires you, demands that you do better, that you are a better person, that you act better, nicer, more selfish, more empathetic, more sympathetic. People who force you to be a better person are the kind of people that you want around you. Even when it's annoying and you're like, yo, I don't want to hear that right now. But those are the kind of people that you want in your life, because they will never allow you to be stagnant. They'll never allow you to fall into the trap of constantly being the same person, the same nasty person, or the same stagnantly kind person. There are literally levels to being a good person, levels to kindness, levels to being a righteous person. And at the lowest level of being a good person is treating someone else how they treat you. Above that is treating someone how you want to be treated. And then, there are other levels of being a kind person, being nice to people without getting anything in return, being nice to people because you want something in return, and being nice to people simply for the love and the joy of being nice. That's literally the highest level of being a good person that you can reach, is being good for the sake of being good. And in order to reach these levels of being a better person, you have to pretend. Because if you're not that kind of person, then the only way to get there is to pretend. If you're running slow, in order to run faster, you have to believe that you can run faster. You have to try to run faster. You have to run with people who are faster than you, because they will push you to be faster. So I wanted to just mention that today, that pretending is a powerful tool. And we should all pretend. We should all pretend to be better people. Pretend to be more righteous people. Pretend to be good people. And in pretending, those people who care about us, genuinely care about us, not that fake stuff, not people who just talk to talk, but people who really genuinely care, they will force you to live up to that expectation that you have shown them. They will force you to do better, to be a better person, to strive for better. And in them forcing you to do that, you in return will force them to live up to a higher standard. And that's how we make the world a better place. by forcing one another to be more righteous, more loving, more sympathetic, more empathetic, more kinder to each other. I just wanted to talk about that today. Pretending. The good kind of pretending, not the bad. And again, pretending is a word that I'm using loosely. It's really not pretending. It's actually trying to be a better person. Being someone that you're not. Wearing a mask. I don't know other words for it, but you know what I mean. And with that being said, just pretend to be better. And let's all never forget that we're all trying to do the same thing. Be happy and survive.
Make sure you like and subscribe.